I think it is time to have that discussion on, is it time for America and Israel to no longer be BFFs, no longer be as close of an ally as they currently are, right? Because a lot of times it seems like America is just the guard dog for Israel, and that's not the way it should be. We should not just be out there running amok without the leash. Once they take the leash off, Israel should not be holding the leash on America. If anything, should be the other way around. I mean, we're America. We're the top dog. And there's been I was kind of wanting to make this video a couple weeks back, just as I kind of continue to absorb information on just kind of America's involvement in a lot of the Middle East stuff. And then there's been two things that have actually come out over the past couple of days. I think it's a good time to kind of make this video. So meet Mr. Jeffrey Sachs. He's been around the UN. He's been a special advisor to the UN Security General from the U.S. for a long time, going back to, I believe, early 90s. He's been some kind of advisor to, U.S. foreign policy relations type of departments and stuff like that. He's a very smart man. He's mostly just an economist, but he's very, very smart. He's great. He's a great listen. Something that came out a couple weeks back, maybe a couple months ago, was basically this video. I'm not going to show this video, but this video kind of talks about what led up to the war in Ukraine and stuff like that. It's very interesting. I'm going to go into another video about this one, but he does have another one, and this one I'm going to play, and it's going to be about 3 minutes, and then there's another thing, and I'm going to wrap up what kind of my thoughts. And this is from the Tucker Carlson show that came out couple days ago.
Israel has driven so many American wars, and we say, absolutely, yes, that's our greatest ally. These have been at huge cost to the United States, cost of trillions of dollars, cost geopolitically, but somehow we gave away our foreign policy to Israel years and years ago, and it's been absolutely devastating. And it's interesting to go back and watch Netanyahu speak to the American people. Go look at a video clip of 2001, 2002. In 2002, in October, he comes and testifies in the Senate. And there's a nice clip of him promising how wonderful the war in Iraq is going to be. Because Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. He says 100% certain. Complete lies, by the way, and they knew that they were lies at the time. And it's going to be wonderful. We're going to topple that dictator, and then dictators are going to be toppled everywhere, and the young people of Iran are going to rise up. This is his idea, together with his U.S. political consultants, together with neocons in the U.S. government for the last 25 years. They have never apologized for dragging the United States into countless wars in the Middle East, spending trillions of dollars running up U.S. debt, and doing what? Creating chaos. So just to go back to the 7 countries, because it's worth remembering, Lebanon, it barely exists as a functioning country right now. Syria, it's going to be picked to pieces. Don't believe. Well, it's obvious in what we're seeing every day. Territorial integrity, yeah. Israel's just invaded from the southwest into deeper Syria. Turkey from the north. Russia has its area. The United States and the Kurds have their area. This place is just going to be a battlefield for years to come. Iraq, we know what happened with Iraq. Trillions of dollars, a complete destabilization of the country. Look at the other 3 wars. The United States broke apart Sudan. Why? Well, Sudan was an enemy of Israel, so we have to break apart Sudan. So we supported the South Sudanese. Now we have the real trifecta, massive civil war in Sudan and massive civil war in South Sudan. In other words, we broke apart the country, and now there's civil war in both halves of the country. Somalia basically doesn't exist as a country. Libya, it doesn't exist. It's a battlefield. It's a war zone. So that's 6 out of 6. And Netanyahu's crowing Now we go on to Iran.
So then you fast forward another day, and this was also trending on Twitter, on X, and basically what it wound up being was Tim Pool has sold out the Timcast operations to the Daily Wire. And we all know Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro. If you don't know, he's a very popular online conservative Jewish media news kind of guy, so he's very supportive of Israel. And Tim Pool is he's also a conservative guy. So between those two events that have happened over the past couple of days, I feel like it's time to kind of have that discussion, because what I've kind of been looking at over the past couple of months is, one, you don't really see any celebrities ever talk down, or Jewish celebrities, Jewish high level type personnel. They never badmouth Israel. They are always very supportive. And this is where as you kind of look at it a little bit more, Jews are very supportive of Israel because that's the Jewish Holy Land. And it makes sense. If I was Jewish, I'd probably be very blindly supportive of Israel. But if you're not Jewish, who are you supportive of? Or who are you loyal to? Jews are going to be very loyal to Israel. Why is Americans, which is mostly made up of Christians, right? It was mostly just founded by Christians who left Europe back in the 1700s, 1800s. Why are the Jews in Israel constantly getting America into conflicts in the Middle East? I mean, I get it. A lot of those Muslim countries over there, they're very hostile towards the Jews and Israel. But that doesn't mean you get to drag us in. And I get it. We're the biggest dog in the fight anywhere out there. But we should not be out there doing whatever somebody asks us to do. We as Americans should be for America. So I have a very hard time listening to Jews like Bill Ackman, who I'm a big fan of, very smart investor, but he's Jewish. He's a Jewish American. So if you're Jewish and American, what's your number one priority here? Is it America? Is it Israel? That's where I've had some conflicts over the past couple months. And I get it. It's not a black and white issue. It's always a little bit more complicated than that. But America should not be out there, like I kind of mentioned earlier, out there, running around, running guard dog for Israel. That should not be our prerogative. And if you look across a lot of European countries, and even a lot of the higher up EU organizations like the WHO, the WEF, even just the EU, and a lot of American businesses, there's a lot of Jewish influence. And so they dictate a lot of things. And obviously those people are going to be very loyal to Israel. And so that's where, we need to really examine how close we are with Israel and why we are doing the things we are in the Middle East. I'm not advocating pro-Muslim, damn straight not that. But I'm also not advocating to be super pro-Israel either. Because there's too many things out there that we keep getting involved in. And it's just, we're out there destroying lives. And we shouldn't be about that. That's not what we're supposed to be about as American values. Or you think we would have values. But it seems like one value that a lot of American politicians don't have is a backbone. So in just understanding that, it's really difficult for me to look at Jewish Americans and say that you got to pick between America and Israel and them siding with America. Because a lot of times you see they don't exactly align with America. They align with Israel just blindly. And it's one that, it's not that I'm not supportive of you supporting whoever you want to support, but it's also, don't ask me to get involved if I don't want to get involved. I'm an American. You're Jewish American, so where's your loyalties lie? You need to figure that out. But stop asking us to get involved in your shit.